O Lord, tell us a new illustration.
Peace be with you. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Let us walk into today's parable. Two brothers worked side by side in their father's vineyard. The sun rose over the same hills for both. The soil beneath their feet was the same rich earth. The tools in their hands were identical, but the younger brother Simon could not stop looking at his older brother's hands. Judah worked steadily, methodically. He would cut a cluster of grapes, place it gently in his basket, then move to the next vine. His movements were calm, unhurried. There was no tension in his shoulders. Simon worked beside him, but his eyes kept darting sideways. One cluster in Judah's basket. Simon counted. 2 clusters, 3 clusters, 4. "Why are you watching me?" Judah asked one morning, not looking up from his work. "I'm not watching you," Simon said quickly. "I'm working." But his eyes betrayed him. They flickered to Judah's basket again. 5 clusters now. Simon gripped his pruning shears tighter and worked faster. His hands moved quickly, cutting, placing, cutting, placing. But the faster he worked, the heavier his chest felt. The more he counted, the less he breathed. That night at dinner, their father noticed Simon barely touched his food. "Are you unwell, my son?" "I'm fine, father. Just tired." But he wasn't tired from work. He was tired from counting. The next morning, Simon woke before dawn. The sky was still dark, stars fading into deep purple. He lit a lamp and walked quietly to the vineyard. If he started early, he thought, if he had an hour before Judah arrived, maybe he could fill his basket first. Maybe he could finally be ahead. His fingers worked in the lamplight, cutting clusters that were barely visible. The grapes were cold with morning dew. His back ached, but he counted each one. 10 clusters, 20, 30. When the sun rose, Judah arrived and found Simon already deep in the rows, his basket half full. "You started without rest?" Judah asked, concern in his voice. "I couldn't sleep," Simon said, not looking at him. And it was true. He couldn't sleep, because even in his dreams he was counting. Days passed, then weeks. Simon woke earlier, and earlier still. He worked through the afternoon heat when others rested in the shade. While Judah sat beneath the olive tree eating bread and cheese, Simon stood in the vineyard, sweat pouring down his face, hands never stopping. His father called to him, "Simon, come, eat, rest." "In a moment, father." But the moment never came, because 3 rows over, Judah was still working. And if Judah was working, Simon had to work more. He began to skip meals entirely. His frame grew thin. His eyes developed dark circles like bruises. The other workers whispered when he passed. Then came the night harvest. The family had always stopped work at sunset. It was the father's rule. "We work in the light," he would say. "The darkness is for rest." But Simon couldn't rest. While the household slept, he lit 3 lanterns and returned to the vineyard. The flames cast wild shadows across the vines. Moths circled the lights, and Simon worked. He worked until his hands cracked and bled. He worked until his eyes burned from staring at grapes in lamplight. He worked until his fingers shook so badly he could barely hold the shears. But all he could see was Judah's basket. Always fuller, always better. "How does he do it?" Simon whispered to the darkness. "Why can't I catch him?" His father found him there one night, asleep against a vine, 3 lanterns burning around him like a vigil. The old man knelt beside his son, saw the bleeding hands, the hollowed cheeks, and wept. The morning it happened, the sky was pale yellow, like old parchment. Simon stood from his sleeping mat and his legs wouldn't hold him. He stumbled, caught himself on the doorframe, walked slowly toward the vineyard because that's what he did every morning. That's all he knew how to do anymore. He made it 7 rows in before his body gave up what his mind refused to accept. He collapsed between the vines, his face in the dirt, his bleeding hands stretched out toward clusters he could no longer reach. Judah found him there an hour later and ran shouting for their father. They carried Simon to the shade, brought water, covered him with a cloak. And while Simon drifted in and out of consciousness, his eyes closed but his ears still hearing, he heard a conversation that shattered everything. "Father," Judah said, his voice breaking, "I'm afraid I've failed you." "Failed me? You're the most diligent worker I have, my son." "Diligent, yes, but I have no joy. I watch Simon work and I see something I've never had. Even as he destroys himself, there's passion in him. Fire. I work because I must. He works because something burns in his chest. I envy him that, Father. I envy what he has that I've never known." Simon's eyes were still closed, but tears ran from them now. "My sons," the father said softly, "you are both blind. Simon sees only numbers and kills himself for them. You see only obligation and empty yourself in duty. Neither of you see what you have. Neither of you taste what you've been given." When Simon finally opened his eyes, Judah was sitting beside him, his face wet with tears. "Brother," Judah whispered, "I'm sorry." "For what?" Simon's voice was barely there. "For being something to measure yourself against. I never wanted that." Simon tried to speak, but his throat was too dry. Judah reached into his tunic and pulled out a cluster of grapes, dark purple, perfectly ripe. He pulled one free and held it to Simon's lips. "When was the last time you actually tasted one?" Simon couldn't remember. Months, maybe. He'd been too busy counting them to eat them. The grape touched his tongue and burst with sweetness. It was cool and alive, and so achingly good that Simon began to cry. Not from sadness, from the shock of something he'd forgotten existed. Pleasure, presence, the simple gift of what was right in front of him. "I've been counting," Simon whispered. "I've been counting for so long." "I know," Judah said, "and I've been working without purpose for so long. We're both lost, brother." Their father knelt between them, placing a weathered hand on each son's head. "The vineyard was never a competition," he said. "It was a gift. Every vine a blessing, every cluster a miracle. But you turned blessings into burdens. You transformed abundance into anxiety. You looked at each other so much, you forgot to look at what you held in your own hands." Simon looked down at his bleeding palms, and for the first time in months really saw them. Saw the cost of comparison, saw what he'd sacrificed on the altar of keeping up, measuring up, being enough. "The vineyard has enough for both of you," their father continued. "It always has. But no harvest will satisfy you until you stop counting someone else's grapes and start tasting your own." Over the following weeks, Simon healed. His hands closed, his body strengthened. But more than that, something shifted inside him. He still worked in the vineyard, but now when he cut a cluster, he would sometimes stop, hold it up to the light, marvel at how the sun made the grapes glow like purple jewels. Sometimes he would eat one right there, letting the sweetness fill his mouth, grateful for the taste. Judah changed too. He began to sing while he worked, old songs their mother had taught them. He would pause to watch birds in the vines, laugh at jokes with the other workers, feel the good ache in his muscles as purposeful instead of hollow. The two brothers still worked side by side, but now they talked. Now they helped each other. Now they rested together beneath the olive tree at midday, sharing bread and stories and silence, and their baskets. Sometimes Judah's was fuller, sometimes Simon's was. Neither of them counted anymore, because they had discovered something far more valuable than abundance. They had discovered contentment, peace, the radical gift of being present in their own lives instead of haunted by someone else's. And you, beloved, are you living in your own vineyard? Or are you so busy measuring your clusters against your neighbors that you've forgotten to taste the sweetness in your own hands? Are you so focused on keeping up that you've lost touch with where you are? Do you know the gift you hold? Or can you only see what you lack? Comparison will destroy you from the inside out. It will turn blessings into burdens, gifts into competitions, and brothers into rivals. It will steal your joy, your rest, your very presence in your own life. Stop counting. Start tasting. Stop measuring. Start living. Stop looking at their hands. Start looking at your own. And in the Holy Scriptures, it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12, "We do not dare to classify or compare ourselves with some who commend themselves. When they measure themselves by themselves and compare themselves with themselves, they are not wise." And again in Galatians chapter 6, verse 4, "Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else." The vineyard of your life is enough. The blessings in your hands are sufficient. The journey you walk is yours alone. Stop carrying the weight of everyone else's harvest. Taste the grape that's right in front of you, and you will finally know peace.